This is what happens when you move the hanging pendulum from my last video 7 centimeters and stop. It swings, obviously, and with almost no friction in that bearing, it keeps swinging for a very long time. Same card, same 7 centimeters, same speed. The pendulum arrives dead still. No sensor, no feedback, nothing measuring the swing. The entire trick is when the card moves. And one number I happened to measure in my last video. Last time I built this pendulum and measured its natural period very precisely. 870 milliseconds. That video was about a question from 1638. This one is about what that number is for. Since then I've built this, a belt-driven linear axis, and the pendulum now rides on the card, which makes it a miniature of a real engineering problem, the overhead crane. A container hangs from a trolley. The operator has to move it somewhere and have it arrive not swinging, because you can't set down a swinging load. The same problem lives inside 3D printers. Moving fast makes the frame ring, and modern firmware cancels it with exactly the trick I'm about to show. It's called input shaping. Start from the equation we already know, the free pendulum. Keep the swing small, and it's a clean harmonic oscillator with the period we measured. Put the pivot on a card, and one term appears on the right, the card's acceleration. Not its position, not its speed. A card gliding at constant velocity is just an inertial frame, and the pendulum can't feel it. Only acceleration shakes it. That's the first insight. Sway comes from the accelerations, so it doesn't matter how far you move, it matters how and when you accelerate. Second insight. The moment the move is over, the forcing is gone, and the equation collapses back to a free pendulum. Whatever complicated thing the swing did during the move gets compressed into just two numbers, an amplitude and a phase. And from then on it's a plain sine wave. That leftover sine is the residual sway, the thing we want to kill. And third, this equation is linear. If I command the same move twice, the second one delayed by some time tau, the responses simply add. Two identical sine tails shifted by tau. High school trigonometry turns that sum into a product. We don't need to look at the full equation. What matters is this factor that depends only on the delay. Cosine of pi tau over t0. And the cosine has zeros. Choose tau to sit exactly on 1. And the residual isn't small, it's 0, identically at every instant. Whatever sway the first move injects, an identical move half a period later injects the exact opposite, because half a period is precisely the time it takes a pendulum to swap its swing for its mirror image. So the recipe is almost embarrassing. Split the 7 centimeters into two identical 3.5 centimeter moves and start the second one exactly 435 milliseconds after the first one started. This is the simplest member of a family called input shapers, the ZV zero vibration shaper, worked out for crane and spacecraft control in the 80s. Here is both side by side. One warning so you don't watch for the wrong thing. During the shaped move, the pendulum absolutely swings. It has to, it's being accelerated. The promise is only about what's left after the last move ends. Left side still ringing, and it will ring for a long time. Right side, the second half move catches the swing like a hand closing around it. Done. No sensor, no feedback. The pendulum was never measured during any of this. Just commanded, blind, like a motor that trusts one number. 870 milliseconds. Measured with a magnet and a microcontroller in my last video, for no practical reason at all. This is what a measured number is worth. Last time, curiosity. This time, it's the difference between a load that swings and a load that stops.